What's up guys, it's Cam. It is freezing outside. It's 25 degrees. We're in the middle of December, but hey look, the river's not frozen over yet. So we're gonna get out there and catch some fish, take you along for the ride and give you some tips and techniques that can help you maximize your time on the water, stay warm during these cold winter months, but still be able to enjoy it and have fun. So stay tuned. First rule about winter clothing and keeping yourself warm and dry is to not wear cotton. This is a great example of what not to wear. This is cotton. Most of your shirts, most of your sweatpants, most of your socks, it's all gonna have cotton in it. You wanna make sure and not wear cotton whatsoever. The reason for that is when cotton gets wet, it stays wet and all of your warmth is pretty much lost. So merino wool, polyester, synthetic blends, those are all things you want to look for in winter clothing. Let's start from the bottom. Don't wear two pairs of socks. It kind of sounds counterintuitive, but the reason for that is the more compression you have in your boots, the less circulation you have. And so if you have less circulation, it basically cuts off all the blood flow in your feet. And it basically makes it feel like you don't have any socks on at all. So I stick to one pair of really nice thick wool socks. And then the other key is to have boots that are one size or at least a half size bigger. And so that way, again, it's not cutting off your circulation. So when you're picking out boots, I always do a half size to a size bigger. And that way it allows for blood flow in your feet. If you do, obviously, you know, your feet can still get a little bit cold. I always like to just take a hike or a walk, and that usually helps warm up my feet. So you can try that as well. So moving on up, for your pants, I usually like to wear two pairs. I like to wear like a thinner pair. This is like a complete polyester. I got it from Cabela's. It keeps pretty tight to my skin. And then again, it will wick the moisture away if I start sweating or anything like that. And then over top, I just have your fleece Sims pants, and those two keep my legs pretty warm. Okay, so moving up to your upper body, start out with a nice t-shirt. Now, again, people kind of question, well, why do you need, can't you just wear a cotton t-shirt? Well, the answer is, well, yeah, you can, but if you start sweating and that cotton soaks up the sweat, well, you're gonna be a lot colder. So I stick to like a dry fit. Think of like an athletic fit t-shirt or something like that, to where it's used to sweating, so it wicks the moisture away. So something like this is what I wear. And then as far as layers go, I just have layers upon layers. Again, all non-cotton stuff. There's my long sleeve. I have one, so a t-shirt, long sleeve. Then I'll put on like a nice, pretty heavy fleece coat. Then I'll put on kind of a downish, another kind of a fleece jacket. And then I'll finish up with just kind of a hard shell coat. So that way it kind of blocks the wind. And that usually does it for me. I'm usually pretty warm. Sometimes I'll bring a couple extra layers just in case it gets really cold. But for the most part, if I layer like that, it's gonna be pretty warm. Okay, so let's talk about your hands, because I think that's probably the number one thing that most people kind of complain about or have a hard time with. And I typically don't like to wear gloves. If my body and my core is warm and everything else is warm, my hands typically stay fairly warm. I always do bring an extra pair of gloves just in case, and I bring fleece gloves. Fleece, if it gets wet, it's gonna dry a lot faster. The reason I don't wear gloves though is because chances are when you're catching fish and you're handling fish, you know, you gotta take your gloves off in order to handle the fish, and it's just, your line gets caught in your gloves and you don't have the mobility that you need. Tend to not wear gloves, but I always have some just in case my hands just get freezing. Then I can put them on, warm them up, and you know, take them off and get going fishing again. You always want to wear a beanie to keep your ears warm. Again, a lot of your heat comes out of the top of your head, so if you keep that warm, chances are you're gonna stay a lot warmer. And then I like to wear a neck buff just to kind of keep the wind and the cold air off my face. So one other thing that I've learned and kind of a tip is to grab some towels with you. Stuff them in your waders. When you catch fish and your hands get a little wet, well then you can dry them off really quick and then you can get back to fishing and your hands aren't going to be immobilized by freezing temperatures. Hope you guys learned something from that video. I'm going to go bundle up. We're going to get on the river. Our next video is going to talk about how to locate fish, where fish are holding, and there's going to be a lot more. So stay tuned. Go check out our other videos. Please subscribe. See ya.